Hi, welcome to another edition of the Weekly Wrap, where we talk about news nuggets mined from the newspapers. I'm Cal Anderson, a local activist and your host, and you can see that it's the January thaw edition. This year it came right on schedule. Second or third week of January, we get a little break from winter. So I got out the Hawaiian shirt just as a little celebration. I have a guest today who's no stranger to Lynn. He's newly elected Ward 2 Councilor Rick Starbard. Welcome to the show, Rick.
Nice to be here, Calvin. Thank you for inviting me.
Now, Rick, you've been in the public realm for a few other reasons. Now,
I served 3 terms on the Lynn School Committee.
All right. And then why did you seek the Ward 2 election seat?
The reason I sought it was longtime friend and Ward 2 Councilor Billy Trahant decided not to seek re-election, and you know, I was kind of comfortable even sitting back from that. I had a lot of phone calls, people prodding me to run. I kind of gave some thought to who I thought would potentially make a great councilor, and a couple of those people didn't want to jump in, so I decided to take it on.
Well, you had a few challengers, and you, I guess you came in first in the primary and prevailed in the general. So
yes,
welcome.
Yes, I was
you
happy
were
with that.
Sworn in and hit the ground running just last week.
Oh, hit the ground running the day after the election.
Now, it's important for ward councilors to, well, to understand what's going on as far as storms coming. So everybody got inundated with a snowstorm days after taking office. The
Right.
new mayor, well, congratulations to Mayor McGee again, by
Right.
the way. But everybody got in like trial by storm.
Baptism by fire.
Yeah. So what happened?
Well,
when things were going on, did you get your usual ward phone calls? What happened?
Oh, it's hundreds. What we had, trash issues, the snow issues, we had the cold, the holidays delayed trash, the cold affected trash equipment, which also delayed. We're still trying to play catch up from that. Now we've got the rain coming, the storm drains. What I have been able to do to stay ahead of some of these things is, shortly after I was elected, I sent out a mailing to all the households in the ward with all my contact information, how to get a hold of me, along with a link to my website saying, go here, click the Get Connected button, and it has allowed me to build a database that I've now been able to email to. And you know, anybody who goes to rickforlynn.com and sees my recent emails can see that I've been sending almost one out per day, dealing with trash delays, snow emergencies, and all that. And a lot of the phone calls that I've gotten from constituents are related to issues that they would have known about the day before if they had signed up to my website.
I see, good. So, by the way, the Christmas tree and brush are still out. Are those? It's
That was
2 days late
if
now.
you were signed up to my website in my email list, you would have known that this week's Christmas tree and yard waste pickup was delayed until next week. So it begins on Tuesday.
I'm in another ward, but I've been proactive, and I just...
You know, I've got people, I call them Precinct 5.
Right.
Anybody that signs up that lives outside of Ward 2, and I have a lot, I actually had some even sign up this morning.
So the basic come away is, if it's out there, leave it there. They'll be getting to it today or hopefully more
Right,
Monday
and the same
anyway.
thing for trash.
Right. Okay.
You know, just for this week.
Extraordinary times, and we have to have extraordinary patience and planned A's, B's, and C's. So how about enforcement of snow maintenance responsibilities? Residential, commercial, and I find some of the public sector need to be reminded. A couple of seasons ago, we had the MBTA, famous downtown. Everybody was doing their cleanup, but they weren't doing their frontage. There was a graffito on the wall talking about Steffi Pollock in particular. You know, you make these edicts, why don't you just make the MBTA personnel take care of it? Now, we still going to be faced with that? I haven't been downtown since the big storm.
Well, the MBTA is responsible for their properties.
Right. Well, a councilor a few years ago told me that they were exempt by some kind of edict or tort or something. So I made a personal plea to Secretary Pollock, Transportation Secretary Pollock. Can't you just exempt them? And I think last year they started doing it, specifically right along Union Street, where it crosses over into our burgeoning arts and cultural district.
Union Street's a mess right now. Just driving down the street here, I saw, and I'm on the president of the LISOA board, driving by our LISOA offices, I saw Teresa and Antonio out there trying to shovel out
Yeah,
the
this is the day
sidewalks
to do it. By the
themselves.
way, we're into the January thaw. We got a big bunch of rain coming later today and tomorrow. And when I leave the studio today, I'm going home to shovel off the foot of snow I have on my porch roofs, because as soon as it starts raining, it acts like a sponge, absorbs everything, and exponentially roofs can weaken. So stay ahead of the curve, folks.
Roofs and decks.
Right. Anytime you see snow built up, today's the day to do it. It moves pretty easy. I'm going to go and just keep slush going.
Right, because
That's what you do.
once the rain moves out tomorrow, it's going to be
That flash freeze.
the deep
Wherever-
freeze.
However the slush is, it's going to stay that way until it's above freezing again.
And one of the things that I had sent out to my email contact list last night was reminding folks to go out and clean out the storm drains, because without them, that's where the floods are going to come. I've actually, anybody that sends, in Ward 2, that sends me a picture of them cleaning out their storm drains, I'm entering them to a raffle to win a Lazy Dog or Rollies gift card.
You know, I'm always doing my storm drains and the fire hydrants. There's 2 that serve my street, actually my intersections, and the neighbors find that if the neighbors see you doing it, they start adopting it too. And it was one of my ideas a few years ago to get a citywide directory of people who adopt hydrants, et cetera. But anyway, I'm glad it's being done on the individual basis, and here we are reminding people.
Well, we had one of our young people who, on the board of the Stop the Violence campaign, went out and adopted 15 fire hydrants and cleaned them out himself.
We have a couple of minutes left. I'll have you back on later in the year if you want. We'll talk about some of the things that went on over the winter. I know we got some new housing projects going on and some, well, just exciting things going on for
We have a
the
lot of
spring.
exciting things going on. It's going to be a challenging year, no question. But
Right, going through some of the headlines of the last week, I want to point out the editorial that the item had on Lori Ehrlich. Now that there's been some shuffling around, Lori Ehrlich, being the 9 or 10-year incumbent for the special election way back, she's now the dean of the
our senior legislator.
yeah, and for Lynn,
Right.
because everybody now is shuffling around for new seats and stuff. So thank you, Lori. I had Lori on the show a few weeks ago, and keep it up.
And you know what? A lot of folks in Lynn always, you know, they focus on Representatives Cahill and Brendan, and sometimes forget about Donald Wong and Laurie
because they
Ehrlich.
were on the fringes of
Right,
the.
right.
Now, what's exciting to me is in today's paper, there's an announcement that tomorrow the Lynn item is choosing or announcing their persons of the year. They had public nominations the past, well, I guess 3 or 4 weeks. I personally recommended Al Wilson, and I hope he prevails because coincidentally he's making a return visit to the program next week.
And I've
So I
seen
hope
Freddie
we have-
Hogan's name
I hope we get
thrown
to
out
talk
quite
about
a bit
that.
as well.
So it's exciting. They're doing it in all the towns in the readership, but of course we're focusing on Lynn. Here it is, headlines. Clear the catch basins, fire hydrants, etc.
Yep,
Because we had a fire. And somebody was a hero because one of the fire hydrants that they shoveled out was one of the ones used.
Right.
This is the time of year, I've said it on the show before, keep your things in order as far as early warnings, and just have common sense, especially live in a wood frame old multiple residence dwelling. Oh, I just want to point out too, the supplement that comes out every few months in the item about Lynn education. This is a good read, and it's right up your alley, being a former school committee person.
And former teacher.
We got to kind of wrap this up. It goes fast.
Yes, it does. It's very
I'm going to
fast.
let you bring the show home, Rick Starbard.
Okay.
And then we're going to just have our iced tea. How's that? So,
I think we should really, if we're going to thaw time, have margaritas. But
maybe for the June show.
okay.
Anyway, there's your camera over there.
Until next time, in every way and every day, keep loving Lynn.